Hey guys, Bluefin100 back again with another video, and joining me is my good friend and longtime subscriber, JosukexJojolion.
How's it going, guys?
Now, if you guys don't know what Josuke does on his channel, he does AMVs and WWE videos. The last time we've done a video together was 2 years ago when we did the Who is the best main character in the Beyblade franchise, and holy shit, we didn't even know it would have a crap ton of views.
Yeah, I'm surprised that video got over 51k views. So, thank you guys to everyone who enjoyed that video.
Now, today is a special day for us Beyblade fans because this month marks the 20th anniversary of Beyblade. Yeah, can you believe it's been 20 years of Beyblade, and it's still going on till this day. Not only Beyblade turns 20 this year, but other TV shows and media turn 20 like Digimon,
Naruto,
One Piece,
SpongeBob,
Ed, Edd and Eddy,
Futurama,
Family Guy,
Power Rangers Lost Galaxy,
and so on. The series began back in 1999 and was created by Takao Oki. The manga lasted from 1999 to 2004.
Approximately around 6.5 years from 1999 to 2004.
The anime started in 2000 and concluded in 2004 in Japan, while in North America it ended in May 2005. After the success of the original, it was followed by 2 reboot series, a shitty spin-off series, 2 movies, and a manga continuation of the original series called Beyblade Rising, or Beyblade Season 4. At the height of its popularity, countries such as Japan, Canada, and America have hosted several Beyblade tournaments, whether it be national or worldwide. So I actually wanted to ask you, Josuke, when did you start watching Beyblade? And I know you grew up watching the Metal Saga, but what made you get into the series? Was it the battles, the story, the blades, or the characters?
I started watching Beyblade around in 2008. It was during this time where we had satellite TV. I didn't get exposed to cable TV until 2010. And by those channels, you know, we had like the standard type. We had Cartoon Network, we had Boomerang, we had Toon Disney, we had Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, etc., etc. So for me, I grew up in the block around 5 to 6 after coming back from home from school, and I watched, you know, Jetix. Jetix aired certain programs like Power Rangers, The American Dragon, Jake Long, and Beyblade. Beyblade aired for us here after around 2004-2005, but we would see some reruns on Cartoon Network, but it transpired in Disney. And from that time, I was exposed to the very first episode, you know, the origins of Dragoon. And I saw the second episode when it came towards Kai bullying Takao. And for me, from there, I genuinely loved the show. The first season was kind of bland and boring. There wasn't not much character development that was happening between Takao. And I felt that he was an annoying character in a sense, you know, because back then, we saw the same theme in other animes, such as Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, Digimon, and hell, you can go far back in saying Yu-Gi-Oh! The first season with Yugi. He had those traits as well, being an uprat and Mr. Know-It-all, and at the end of the day, because of him not knowing certain things, Takao got his ass whooped, you know, but it just learned. You know, you have to be a stronger character no matter how it is and how things come through, and just work your way up until you see what's fitting for you. You know, that's the certain theme that goes under Beyblade from not only just the first generation, it carries on from the second generation and the third generation, in a sense. And for me, it just kept my love stick kept on growing. You know, V-Force for me was kind of slow, but the third series, G-Revolution, I enjoyed it a lot. You know, the battles between Takao and Brooklyn, Tala, Kai, you know, in a sense. And Kai was probably one of my favorite characters. He wasn't a good guy nor a bad guy. He was a vigilante. He was an anti-hero who just did things for himself but had, like, served a purpose. And it just brought in a different side I haven't seen from. And this was one of the very last times we saw like a dark theme of Beyblade in its sense of maturity until later on from Beyblade Burst Season 2 and also Beyblade Metal Fight and also Metal Fight 4D in a sense. I'm like, okay, this has a lot of good elements, so I hope that continues. So afterward, we haven't had Beyblade for almost about a good 7 to 8 years until it was Beyblade Metal Fight. Beyblade Metal Fight was the opening for me back in 2010. And 2010 was that time where originally everyone started getting into Beyblade. I was around 10 years old when I started the Metal Fight series, and I just enjoyed everything of it, from like the characters such as Kenta with Flame Sagittario, from Ryuga. He was pretty badass, you know. He had owned Lightning El Drago, Storm Pegasus, and surprisingly, you know, if you want to follow the first Beyblade, the first main character, then obviously it's that trait. People go for it. Storm Pegasus, that was my first Beyblade. When it came to training card, Pikachu was my first training card. You know, Charizard, in a sense. So, you feel, you know what I'm trying to say, Johnny? You ever have that type of feel for yourself that you would get like a first character, like a first Beyblade that you were exposed to, especially on an anime?
Yeah.
So, pretty much that's how I got exposed. It wasn't one day until, like, it was my brother's birthday party, and a bunch of his friends started bringing in the Metal Fight Beyblade. They had, like, Storm Aquario, they had Storm Capricorn, Storm Pegasus, they had Lightning El Drago, Flame Sagittario, they had a lot of good Beyblades, Dark Wolf, Earth Aquila, you know, Flame Libro. They had a lot of good Beyblades. So I was just like, you know what? I'm really into it. And then every single day, I was at my brother's house, and we used to play, like, we had the Vortex Stadium. You know, remember the Vortex Stadium? Do you still own it to this day, or what's up?
Yep, I still have it. It's under my bed.
Yo, so I ended up playing that, the original limited edition Lightning El Dragon Storm Pegasus. And I enjoyed it a lot. You know, from there, I always used to drag my parents to take me to Walmart, and my first Beyblade was Storm Pegasus. And from Storm Pegasus, it grew and grew, like Storm Pegasus to Storm Capricorn to Dark Bull, Earth Aquila, Dark Wolf, you know, and it just started to grow and grow and grow. The only regret that I have was I wish I knew earlier about shopping Beyblades online and getting the limited ones like Earth Aquila, Flame Sagittario, because I don't know if it was also where you lived, but where I lived, I could not find Flame Sagittario at all. That was probably one of the most rarest Beyblades out there. And same thing with Poison Serpent. Poison Serpent was another rare Beyblade where I could not find it at all. Was it the same situation for yourself as well, or not?
Yeah, like, back in 2010, I could not find, like, a Storm Pegasus until one day after WoW YTV, Flame Sagittario, like you said. Even Lightning El Drago, I could not find any Lightning El Drago Beyblades at, like, Zellers, Toys R Us, Walmart, or, like, anywhere else. And whenever I go to the Beyblade section, I would always find, like, the double packs and, like, the single packs. Also with the original Beyblade, I can never find, like, any of the original Beyblades that I wanted. So it was mainly just the HMSs and, like, Vortex Ape and those other ones I didn't care about. So yeah, like, I don't know why some areas had, like, limited Beyblades back in the day.
Yeah, it was limited, and I remember every Walmart I went to. I remember one time I dragged my dad to, like, 4 different Walmarts just for me to buy a Storm Pegasus, you know, in a sense. I was just like, I was crazy about it. I needed either a Storm Pegasus or a Earth Virgo, because honestly, I realistically think that the Beyblade Metal Fight actually probably had one of the cool looking box sets of all time, if you can agree with me on that. Like, and then because you had the Beyblade code, you had the character profile card, and on top of that, it just gave you the whole range of information if the Beyblade is good or not, if it's neither an attack type, a stamina type, a defense type, or a balance type. You know, that for me, yeah, it showed its ratings, and it showed what it can do and what's its perks and what it's not good for. So that's just me out there. And on top of it too, like, later on, my obsession started growing crazier and crazier. I ended up, like, collecting most of the Beyblades from, you know, Gang Galaxy. I had most of the Beyblades for Earth Eagle. I had Galaxy Pegasus when that came out. And I remember I was super sensitive the very first time I launched it, because I didn't want its paint painting or chipping to come off because it was a painted Beyblade, and I didn't really like Hasbro or Takara Tomi's part on why did they have to paint it blue. Why couldn't they just make it a permanent blue, just like Gravity Perseus or Gravity Destroyer, which is named in English,
or Hell Kribix,
like a permanent black wheel. You know, it never chipped off. So why couldn't they do something similar to that? You know, that was kind of annoying part. And another annoying part was the face tattoos on the facial, which
the Zodiac
I
signs.
think you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, the Zodiac signs.
The Zodiac signs. Zodiac signs are pretty cool, but like I miss the old stickers. But the stickers kind of got annoying too. Like they would obviously like rip apart in a sense. But you know, going on forward, Beyblade Season 2 kind of got me, but it was like a rip-off of Season 2 of V-Force. That just was a huge rip-off. But, you know, minus that, I believe that my favorite series was Beyblade G-Revolution, Beyblade Metal Fight 4D, Fight Explosion, then the original Beyblade, V-Force, and then I would probably put the first series of Beyblade Metal Fight to last because I wish it continued a little bit more and further developed like characters we saw, but there was a lot of annoying parts, and I'm sure you can agree with me on it too that it wasn't the best.
Yeah, like after Metal Fight 4D or Metal Fury, it basically just went downhill until Burst pretty much made the series interesting again, and then it went down to crap again.
Right. You know, every day I remember watching the new Beyblade episode that would come out in Raw, and originally I loved how Metal Fight was from 24 minutes, but they had to cut it short for like 12 minutes. That didn't make any sense at all, and I didn't know how the heck America dealt with 12 minutes of an episode of Beyblade. Like, realistically, who wants a 12-minute episode of Beyblade, you know? So that was probably one of the stupidest things to happen, but there was some nice scenes, you know, with Rego, the owner of Diablo Nemesis. He was a pretty badass villain. I loved how it went back to its original origins, you know, the seasonal bladers, how they have to defeat this one sole purpose and evaporate him from all mankind, because he's just a bad guy. It's not ands, no ifs, no buts. Everyone, whether it's the bad guys or the good guys, they had to team up, they had to kick his ass, because you don't want mankind to be perishing, you know. If ultimately, like, let's just say, what happens if Diablo Nemesis took over, in a sense? Diablo Nemesis would probably wipe face off the entire planet and made the owners Beyblades as slaves, and it just kept on growing and growing and growing, and just that's pretty much it, which was pretty dark in my opinion. And at the same time, there was a lot of nice ass scenes with Kenta finally growing a pair of sets and actually going for it. And you know, his Beyblade, he was finally a legendary blader, and his Beyblade evolved from Flame Sagittario to
Flash Sagittario.
Flash Sagittario, exactly. And Ryuga, just probably one of the best Beyblade fight scenes up there with, you know,
Tyson versus Kai.
With the scenes with Scythe Kronos, Jade Jupiter, and Phantom Orion when they were battling Prototype Nemesis. That probably was one of my favorite scenes too. You know, it just when you're young, you realize that there's a lot of hit and misses, and when we look back at it, the entire franchise of Beyblade wasn't that bad. It wasn't. And just for me, my passion just started growing and growing. And the last year we had with Zero G wasn't really the same. But it wasn't until 4 years later where I actually finally had a chance to meet Blue Wolf 100 in person, and he introduced me to the real life of Beyblade. And I enjoyed the manga, reading it, because there was a lot that I didn't knew that were adapted into the anime in the sense, and also I'm part of it too. Daichi was one of my favorite characters. Daichi, Tyson, you know, they were all probably one of my favorites. So that's what got me into Beyblade, the series. It was from 2008 till 2016. How did you get into Beyblade, Asian Blue?
Well, I got into Beyblade at a very young age, and I was introduced to Beyblade through my older cousin because he owned the toys. The first Beyblades I got were actually the ones from Burger King, but my first real Beyblade top was Ultimate Frosted Dronzer, and it was a birthday gift. Believe it or not, I started blading at the age of 5, and my first tournament was at Weird on Wheels, or WOW YTV. I still have the pictures of me and my sister at the Beyblade tournament from 2004. Sometime later after I got into the toys, I started watching the show on YTV, and I was hooked. At the time, it became one of my favorite shows on YTV alongside with Yu-Gi-Oh! I grew up watching the very first season of Beyblade as well as G-Revolution because I had them on VHS and DVD. I did watch some episodes of season 1 and 3 on YTV while they were still airing, but I mostly watched them on video. I've only watched a few episodes of V-Force, but I don't remember it as much. As I got older, I found out there was a manga on Beyblade, and I was surprised how different it was from the anime. And like Josuke said, there were a few storylines from the manga that were adapted into the anime. Beyblade pretty much changed my life as a kid, and even now, because of how interesting it was, its characters like Tyson and Kai, characters getting developed, its life lessons like never giving up, being a good sport, and of course that kick-ass theme song which beats every single Beyblade dub theme after it. Even if the concept is kind of dumb, there's a lot more to it than that. It's more than just your dumb average kid show.
Yeah, for me, Beyblade is not an average dumb kid show. For me, it meant more to life. I remember, holding certain traits in myself that I definitely related to a lot of characters, Daichi was one of them, and I felt for me, Daichi probably gave me the strongest vibes until, to continue with yourself, even though he was pretty much an orphan. His mom died at a young age, and his father died from an accident. It grew me as a person, you shouldn't do things by yourself. Always have your friends behind your back. And also the same mentality as Kenta. Kenta took in the mantle of, always be there for his friends. In order to hone his craft and skill, he had to be with Ryuki. He had to train in order to get stronger and just to become a better blader and overall, because he didn't want to be in Jingo's shadows from the very beginning. You notice it too, right, Gianni?
Yeah.
At the very beginning of the series, he was overshadowed by Jinga, but now he doesn't want to do that. He wants to be a separate person and wants to do things for himself.
Yeah.
That's how I look at Beyblade. And also, Beyblade is based on, it's not a game, it's just how you play it, and always continue to grow stronger for who you are. And also, it's when you always train, your spirit grows higher and higher. It's all about the base spirit.
So since the original Beyblade, or the whole series, turns 20 this year, Japan and Takara released a 20th anniversary memorial box back in July, and they're also going to be releasing a 10th anniversary box set for Metal Fight. The 20th anniversary set contains the Blade Breakers and Talus Season 4 blades, and an artwork from Takaoki. For the 10th anniversary Metal Fight set, it will contain not just a remastered Storm Pegasus, but it will also contain remastered versions of Rock Leone, Flame Sagittario, Lightning El Drago, Earth Eagle or Earth Aquila, and 2 string launchers which look similar to the ones from the Metal Saga toy line. It will also include an artwork from Takafumi Adachi. These sets look amazing, and it's a must-buy for fans of the original Beyblade and the Metal Saga. The only thing I wish they could have added to the 20th anniversary set is a remastered version of Galax and the remastered version of Gaia Stride Dragoon S, or even release Ayaka's Zephyr and Suki's Chimera blades. I also wish they've added launchers that are similar to the original launchers, aka the Dragoon, Dronzer, and Trigger shooters, or even launchers that were similar to V-Force or G-Revolution. So happy 20th anniversary to the original Beyblade and the entire series. Beyblade has become a worldwide phenomenon and has impacted our lives just like with many animes such as Dragon Ball, Naruto, and Pokemon. Even if the series has its pros and cons and has now become a cash grab with the later seasons, it's still an entertaining anime series no matter which generation you grew up with. Anyways guys, that's about it for this video, and I would like to thank Josuke for joining me again in this video. And make sure to check out our previous crossover we did about the main protagonist of Beyblade, and make sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. The link will be in the description below. And what did you guys think about Beyblade overall? Did you like it when it first came out back in 2002? Did you hate it? Or do you think it's okay? Also, are you guys still fans of the show after the original trilogy, the Metal Saga, and the Burst Saga? Let me guys know in the comments. And make sure to hit that notification bell so you will never miss an upload. And make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and like always, I'm out. Peace.
Bye guys.